demands greatness. Him. And a big, beautiful journey, live movie reviews. Welcome to Mirror Domains. And this is your place for live movie reviews for him. And a big, beautiful journey starring Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. A romantic fantasy of, well, I would say not so epic proportions. Let's get on with the show here. So if you don't know how this works, guys, these will be chopped out and put up on the channel, the review channel separately, all spoiler free. If you guys got some comments in the live chat about them, we'll put them up after I do my little formal review. And with that being said, let's talk about this movie. Him. Now then. Tyreek Withers. All right. Him stars Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers, and it tells the tale of an up-and-coming quarterback that goes to a training camp led by, well, the man himself right there, Marlon Wayans. Did I say Marlon Wayans? Did I? Shoot, I think I screwed that up, didn't I? I said Marlon Wayans, didn't I? Whatever. No, that's a good take. Hey, I screwed this up before, and I can screw it up again, for sure. All right, that being said, let's do it again. Take it from the top, James. Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers star in Him, an up-and-coming movie about a quarterback that gets mentored by this aging guy that is going to pass the torch to him. But the movie comes in at 30% by the critics, 58% by the audience on the tomato meter, and that doesn't bode well. If you saw the trailers, it looked like there was going to be some kind of demonic presence, some evil spirits influencing this person's rise to fame. And while you may have gotten hints and notes of any given Sunday kind of vibe, you know, the quarterback that gets it all and loses family and friendships and stuff along the way from this movie, but having a little bit of a satanic feel to it, well, it's sort of like that. And if you were wanting it to be like that throughout the entire movie, this is not that movie. And I'm guessing that that's why the scores on the tomato meter are fairly low with the 30% and 58%. Because this movie suffers and is a good example of bad marketing. And if you wanted to see a lot of culty kind of stuff, then this will not pay off for you. It will not. You'll be more than an hour into it and be like, guys, we're just watching a football movie here, aren't we? When is the demonic stuff going to happen? When is the weird out of touch space things going to happen where we're going to see crazy and weird stuff? Because it starts off with him getting a concussion. You can see that there on the poster, right? And you're like, okay, well, is he seeing weird stuff or is it just a concussion? So they have an opportunity in this movie to have an honest criticism about brain injuries, right? And then they also have a critique about the football culture, about how much are you willing to put on the line? Are you going to sacrifice your body? Are you going to sacrifice your friends and your family to, you know, be this good at this sport? And if you're not accustomed to that kind of culture, then I don't know if this is going to resonate with you. And by the end of it, I was laughing. The big climax in this, I was like, really, is that what really would happen? And I was laughing at some of the audaciousness of this. And I'm like, my initial temptation would be to say, this movie is not that good. But then you have to sit back and realize, well, this is what it's trying to do. This is what it was always trying to do. And if I look at it at that point of view, it accomplishes what it was trying to do. Now, you may not like it, what it was trying to do, but at least it felt like a cohesive film. And at the end of the day, I think I like this film. I think I did. Now, let's get some of the obvious out of the way here. Marlon Wayans is fantastic in this film, but it's also Tyreek Withers there, the main guy there. And we saw him earlier this year in I Know What You Did Last Summer, and he was a standout in that film. And obviously Marlon Wayans, if you like the trailer, then you'll like him in this, because he does have a menace to him. But this guy, Tyreek Withers, he's got an it factor. I just don't know exactly what it is just yet. Because when I was watching his performance here and stuff, because he's muscly, he's big, I was getting like He-Man vibes from him. Now, I know we're getting a He-Man movie, and it's not going to be him, but, I was getting action hero type vibes from him. He's got that way about him where he just carries it. And don't sleep on his performance and what he does, because he's actually got some skills. I want to go over to the IMDb here quickly, because as you can see, it's also being listed as GOAT, original title him. So I don't know when or what country they changed it to GOAT, because the greatest of all time, right? He wants to become the greatest of all time. Young Athletic descends into a world of terror when he's invited to train with a legendary champion whose charisma curdles into something darker. Yeah. Those are pretty much the two big stars. Julia Fox plays the wife. She's got a few scenes where she jumps in, and she's interesting. Julia Fox, I'd say. But other than that, let's go over to my score sheet and start filling in some numbers, because I want to talk about the acting and directing and story, which are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score out of 1. Acting, as I said, for the most part, the two are really good, but there's nothing really outstanding. I could give Marlon Wayans super props here, and I think I will. I'll give a full 1.5. Now, nothing's obviously Oscar-worthy in here. And as I said, Tyreek Withers does have some moments in here where you'll be like, okay, he's got it. Directing. There's a lot of strobe and flashy stuff in here with the technical aspects. There's some good wide cinematography establishing this compound that he goes to train with Marlon Wayans. The story is pretty simple, straightforward. It does have its problems. As I said, if you're looking for a lot of that satanic kind of weird culty stuff, then you're not going to get that really paid off in this, right? Cinematography and score. Cinematography is good. It's competent. It's not, I'll give that a full point. It's cinematography and score out of a possible 1 point each. Score is serviceable. Now, needle drops are a big thing in this movie, and if you like that type of music that they use in this, I would have liked a more eclectic mix. It doesn't use the cliched sports needle drops that you would be expecting, so I kind of appreciate it for that. So we're sitting at 5 out of 10 right now, and I want to go over to the tomato meter again and take a look at some of the critics and what they're saying to see if it echoes what I've been trying to convey here in my review. Amy Nicholson. It wants to be the substance with jock straps. What? A satanic-tinged, steroidal Rosemary's Baby. The film is so stylishly done that I could accept it on those plain terms. Every shot is a stunner. Well, that's why I gave cinematography a full point, right? She didn't really give a score there. Movie Freak, for its volcanic outbursts and aggressive proclamations of overwhelming victory, him fails to score. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that one. Let's go down to the audience. Him is the single biggest disappointment of 2025. And I think people were expecting things like The Substance from this You know, and because Jordan Peele produced this, they were expecting something of that caliber, that even if he didn't like Nope or Us, it would be on that kind of level where it's creepy and stuff like that. But this movie is not really a horror movie. It's not really scary. I thought we would go into more of that stuff, and it kind of let me down that it didn't. But by the end of it, when I realized, okay, I guess I kind of like it now. By no means this is not a great film, but it's not going to be one of the worst films of the year. Let's see if there's some people of note here that I want to look at here. Richard Krause, a candidate for the most overwrought sports movie ever. Him is a jarring look at football culture, but plays it like a muddled mix of Any Given Sunday and Rosemary's Baby. There again, you get the most Rosemary's Baby, because I guess they want to try to work in angles of the devil in here, and I can only surmise that it did that because of the team's mascots having the horns on their helmets. Yes, it's like it's that bad, guys. It really is. Peter de Bruges. Amid the thrills, him gets you thinking about the sport and all it demands, potentially making monsters out of heroes. Now that's the main point. Making monsters out of heroes. Like, what would you do? Who would you step on to become the greatest of all time? Like, that's what it was trying to convey, right? In the process. But as the saying goes, don't hate the player, hate the game. So variety there. He understood it. Bibiani, you learn as much from the movie as you do from the trailer, and the trailer's free to watch, so saves you a lot of time. Yeah. No, I don't really agree with that. No, I don't. It's worth the look, guys. It's worth the look, but by far, it's not one of the greatest films of the year. It's a streaming movie. That's what I would say. This is a streaming movie. It's not terrible, but I would say it's worth a look if you like the trailers. Okay, let's wrap up my score sheet here, and then we will take some live comments. Watchability factors out of a possible 2 points. If you like the trailers, it's worth a look at least once. We're sitting at 6 out of 10 for him, and I think that's about, like, could I give it to any more? Could I possibly give it any more? And I think I will for the score, because while I'm not a big fan of some of the musical choices, the beat drops do work and will work for most people. And I think 6.5 out of 10 is where I want to land for him, or GOAT. One of the criticisms that I would see out there is that, okay, there's obviously something weird and demonic going on here, right? Something a little cultish, if you will. Something a little, like, I think people wanted Hereditary, but with football instead, right? And I guess it does sort of do that. But if the ending doesn't work for you, it made me think of a movie called Ready or Not, where things really get crazy at the end of that movie, where you get people exploding, people dying in really horrific ways. But that movie earned it. And I don't know if this movie earned that, because it does go to that kind of similar type ending. But I think it did kind of earn it, because it goes in a different direction than you think it would. And it was kind of like, okay, I like what you're doing. It's weird. It's not traditional, but I like what you're doing. And that's what I felt. 6.5 out of 10 for him. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's take some of those live comments right now. Our Glass Viking says in the live chat, from the trailers, I imagined him to be a psychotic version of Whiplash, if that's even possible. It is a bit like Whiplash. Like, Whiplash is more of the art house style of, like, trying to be a professional and what would you sacrifice your body and stuff like that. It was changed from GOAT to him due to an animated movie in the U.S. already called GOAT, about a basketball player. GOAT, I think. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. It is what it is. What did you guys think? Let me know what you thought about him. If you went out and saw it, in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, we're about to review a movie called The Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, or Big, Bold, Beautiful Dung Pile, if you want. Oy, it's a rough ride with that one. But come join us right here on Mirror Domains. All right. So I got to adjust the positioning of this poster. Yeah, the marketing made him look like it was going to be like this weird, like you would see them doing rituals and stuff like that, and drinking goat's blood and stuff like that. He would have to make a pledge to the devil or something like that. It's nothing like that. It really isn't. Like I guess it is towards the end, but it's kind of like he's just having to sign a contract with the team to be the quarterback, and it's like, yeah, it's interesting. I saw somebody make the comparison of the poster between that and the Devil's Advocate, and it is a bit like that. It is, right? Where an older devilish mentor, except he's not really devilish. He's not the devil. Sorry, spoiler. Spoiler. Yeah. He's not. That's just the way that it is. All right. Let's get on to this a big, bold, beautiful journey. Because I had high hopes for this one. All right, and this will be cut up and put out on the channel later on, so let's go. Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell star in a big, bold, beautiful journey that tells the tale of two strangers who meet at a mutual friend's wedding, and they have a chance to relive important moments from their pasts, illuminating the path that led them to the present and gaining the opportunity to change their futures. Now, if you saw the trailers for this, it looked like it was going to be a nice whimsical story of these two bonding over these moments that they get to revisit in their past and stuff like that. But the movie fails to land, for me at least, because it fails in one of the critical story building elements. And that is, do we care about these characters? Who are these characters? It just starts out. He goes to get a car, and then it's like, do you want to go on a big, bold, beautiful journey? And he tries to fill in the background of the characters by using some of these flashbacks, but it's kind of like, have they earned this? Have they earned the right to have this Alice in Wonderland type story? And it's kind of like they want you to sympathize with them simply because it's Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. But if it was just sort of generic characters or actors that you didn't really know, I don't think this movie would land at all, because it's just ludicrous. It's ridiculous. It relies heavily on the fact that you need to have that big suspension of disbelief of, okay, we're going on a strange, fantastical story here. And I am a big fan of going on big, fantastical stories. Cinematography is breathtaking. They shot this in some really scenic locations. But what I mean by hollow characters, and you don't really care about them, you see these grandiose things, and they're telling you these life lessons about, oh, look at this beautiful place. We should just admire this in silence. Okay, why do you two need to sit here and admire this in silence, right? And like it literally starts like this. It's just like you haven't earned this. You haven't earned this. And it comes from a director, Kongonada, Kongonada. Ugh, I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I'm not good with that pronunciation for sure. He's done After Yang, which I liked. I liked After Yang. And we did a reaction to that on the channel, actually. And he did an episode, he did 2 episodes of The Acolyte, and we reacted to that as well. I like the attempts at bold storytelling. But for me, it's kind of like one of these characters isn't very likable. And because she does some bad things. The only reason why I like her is because it's Margot Robbie. But as I said, if it wasn't Margot Robbie playing her, and it was maybe just somebody who wasn't as beautiful as her, I would not be sympathizing with her at all. So it misfires. And it's kind of like they try to have these whimsical moments of them reliving their past, and he's like on a stage singing and dancing. And it's like, this doesn't feel like it's been really earned. You didn't tee this up properly for us, the audience. You didn't set this up. Kevin Kline there and Phoebe Waller-Bridge are kind of like the people that put them on this journey. And I felt like there was a lot of missing story elements here establishing who they are. We just expect them to, they're magical beings that are whimsical. And she talks in this weird German accent. And it's supposed to be funny, guys. She's talking in a weird accent. It's not that funny. And I could see what they're trying to do, but I think the editing may have let this down. I feel like there could have been maybe more in the edit that would have maybe let this movie land better. But that being said, let's go over to my score sheet, start filling in some numbers before we go over to the IMDb and take a look at what people are saying about this. Acting, directing, and story out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. Acting, I gotta say that Colin Farrell is the better actor. Like, yes, come on. Penguin, Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer is just so heartbreaking, and like Killing of the Sacred Deer is probably his best performance. Even though I love him in Penguin, Penguin was just what an actor, The Gentleman. But Margot Robbie, I don't know. It's just you don't like her character, and I know you're not supposed to, but it's like it just doesn't land. Directing, I'm gonna have to give the technical points here for the directing because it is beautifully shot. It's got some really good use of locations and such, but the story, while the technical aspects are competently done, it's the execution of the story. And it's the timing of things. The pacing feels off about some of the moments where it's like, oh, you're supposed to be the dad character now in your fantasy? That came out of nowhere. Why is that like that? And it's like, okay, am I being too harsh on this story? It's got a good premise, so that's a 0.5 right there. And I really wanted to like this. And it's got some interesting ideas in there, but it's just it felt like it didn't set itself up, and I got to knock it back for a little bit on that. I'm being generous here, giving it a full 1 point. I am. I could give it a 0.5. I don't know. Maybe I should. Cinematography, though, I'll give it a full point because it is beautifully shot, for sure. The score is serviceable. This is a movie that would have worked really well if it had a really great soundtrack, like Back to the Future or something like you know how those themes are very present in a movie like Jaws or Star Wars, where it's like you have these romantic themes that could have built towards each other and become some big theme by the end where they do fall in love. Guess what? Do you think they fall in love at the end? Yes. Um, it felt slightly amateur. And it's kind of a bummer. But we'll take a look at the director's work here in just a little bit. So we're sitting at 4 out of 10 right now for A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. Oi, 39%, 114 reviews. So we're sitting at 4 out of 10 right now, but I'm going to give it probably at least another point, you would think. RogerEbert.com. The film is most enjoyable as a testament to the charisma and skills of Robbie and Farrell. Okay, 2.5 out of 4. It turns painfully whimsical and deeply moving. It's one big, beautiful mess that could have been bolder. Yeah. And that goes down to the execution of the story. That's what I'm talking about here, right? Let's go down to the audience scores. Slow start, got much better. Yeah, it is a very slow start. It really is. Enjoyed the acting and different story. Nice ending. Nice ending. Well, I guess if you like happy endings, I suppose. Interesting story. Performances believable, different and thought-provoking. Okay, if you've never seen one of these stories that tries to give you life advice while taking you on a journey of like fantastical whimsy, then if this is your first exposure to a story like this, then I would say, okay. But you know what? A movie that does this much better is Stardust. Stardust does this way better. Yeah. Where it deals with fantastical things and then takes you on a journey about two people falling in love. It's much better. Or Princess Bride. Romantic but quirky. Margot Robbie, so cute and talented. Good romantic movie. If you turn your brain off, maybe. If you turn your brain off, maybe. Let's go and take a look and see if there's anybody of note here in the other critics' reviews. I don't think that there is. Farrell and Robbie are adrift, but then Klein and Waller-Bridge doing a broad German accent never figure out the right tone for the touch of the surreal they represent. Yeah, of Kevin Kline. It was cool to see Kevin Kline in this, but it's like he could have been, like, he doesn't really say much, and this is the look that he has on his face for the few scenes that he's in. That's it. It feels like a big, huge swing and a miss. It really does. It's hard not to feel that. All right. A big, bold, beautiful journey dares to be surreal, sentimental, and the gamble of Seth Reese's screenplay pays off. Does it? Does it pay off? I don't know. I don't know. No, it doesn't. And I really wanted to like this film. I really did. Art Glasswacki says a big, bold, beautiful journey looks like it's like its box office will exceed its low budget feel. A job between jobs for Colin. Colin's he's the best part because he's got these extra gears in him. And it's really noticeable because Margot Robbie's a good actress as well. She is. But when you see that they're supposed to be these kind of flat characters to begin with, Colin Farrell can infuse different looks in his eyes when he's talking to his father, his older father, right? He's just sitting there next to him. There's scenes in here that do work. There's some really good ideas in here. It's not executed as well as I would have liked. Now, I just did a movie review for him where I said that movie did set out to and accomplished what it was trying to set out to do. I just don't know if this movie does, because this movie's trying to have these two people fall in love with each other, but we don't really know why they need to fall in love with each other, other than they're just two lost souls, I guess. And if you can buy into that and have that work for you, then maybe you will like this movie. Maybe you will. But yes, relive your past. It's the old adage of, hey, if I give you a chance to change something about your life, but you're going to become a different person that you are, would you take that chance? No, because you just have to learn from your mistakes. And I know terrible things have happened to you maybe in the past, but those things helped make you the person that you are today. And that's what a big, bold, beautiful journey is all about. And once you realize that, then it becomes a little stagnant, redundant. But as I said, if this is your first time being introduced to a story like this, then it may work for you. That'll work for you. But as a cinephile, I've seen it all before. So, that being said, watchability factor is out of a possible 2 points. And if you like these actors, you like the trailer, you might like this. But can I possibly give more than 5 out of 10? I would never watch it again. Again, it's got some good ideas. It felt like Mr. Destiny. If you never saw that with Jim Belushi and Michael Caine, where it's kind of like that old story of, okay, a wizard kind of comes and changes his life and says, okay, you weren't rich and you didn't get to marry the daughter's boss, the boss's daughter, but we're going to give you a life where you did, where you get to be the big superhero, right? And it's kind of like that kind of a story, right? But just not as whimsical. But that's where I stand. So, what do you guys think? 5 out of 10 for a big, bold, beautiful journey. I think that's about right. It's kind of a bummer, kind of a letdown, and it's a bummer. Bummer, man. Maybe I could give it 5.5, but I would be stretching. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, we just reviewed Him, that movie where Marlon Wayans mentors an up-and-coming quarterback. And will there be satanic rituals going on? Well, we talk about that in our review. So, with that being said, if you like this kind of thing, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here on Beer Domains. All right. Yeah, Mr. Destiny. It's like one of those movies. I like that movie. This is the movie where I think I fell in love with Rene Russo.
Presents James Belushi and Academy Award winner Michael Caine. My wife hates my guts. My best friend's afraid of me. I'm up in a tree in a tuxedo.
Because she's got that scene.
Ask me something I couldn't possibly deny. Go on. Now Larry's. Now Larry's got everything to your wife.
Yeah. God, how old was I? That was 1990, so I would have been 12 years old. Yeah, I was about that age. And Rene Russo was, well, she still is drop dead gorgeous. All right, that being said, guys, let's go over and take a look at some of the headlines out there. Just quickly. We'll maybe do some more looks at some headlines tomorrow or something. Gal Gadot gets choked up, requests urgent prayers for... Okay. That is a big mess. That is a huge mess. Let's not touch that one. Robert Redford. Yeah, rest in peace, Robert Redford. He passed on, 89 years old, right? What was some of my favorite movies with him? There's Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid. All the President's Men. I think mine has to be Sneakers. He was really good in that. And I like the resurgence that he kind of had there later in his career here by joining the MCU. He was good in All Is Lost. He plays like this, he goes out on this yacht or something, right? And gets hit with some bad weather. Let's take a look at, see if we can find that. Or this schooner or something, right? And then, yeah, he gets a hole in his boat. And it's just basically him out on this boat during some bad, turbulent times, trying to survive, right? And he puts in a good performance. Probably, I think, like it gave him the opportunity to show that he still got the chops, right? He can still pull off a performance, because while I liked him in the MCU, he didn't really have a whole lot of meat there to sink his teeth into as an actor. But in this movie, he definitely did. Maybe we should do a full live watch along for that one, because he was good in that. Marvel stars stand for Jimmy Kimmel. Pedro Pascal defends free speech while others endorse boycott. That is a mess, isn't it? That is a huge mess. All I'm going to say is, guys, I think if you don't agree with somebody, then don't pay attention. Like, I don't like a lot of what some channels out there say, so I don't watch them. If we bring this to, say, a movie atmosphere, I don't like to throw shade here, but John Campion, I can't stand. There's something pretentious about him that I can't stand to listen to his points of view, because it sounds very conceited. His I'm the right point of view kind of thing. Look at me do all these great things. I was the first one to say this. I did this, and it's like I just don't like his points of view. So I don't watch his stuff. I'm much more of a fan of Harloff and Perry Nemiroff. Pedro Pascal defends free speech, but yeah, it's that when you start opening up that big ball of wax, it's all a big mess. I'm not seeing a whole lot of here. There was some other big headline that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it was. Let's go over to the Screen Rant. Was it Screen Rant? No, Joe Blow I want to go to. Arglass says R.I.P. Robert. I liked him in the baseball movie. Oh yeah, the Natural, right? I remember the score, the score, and swinging the bat and smashing the was it the scoreboard or the lights? The Simpsons parodied that a bit. Yeah, Arglass says is a bit pompous. Yeah. And if I could, okay, when somebody puts on a persona to be on the camera, and he was just acting like that to be like, to get the people involved and having a conversation. But when I saw some of his social media stuff, like his personal posts, and it seems like he's very much that. And I heard what he did with the way he treated female employees. So I'm a big Clark Wolf fan. And Clark Wolf said something, so I believe her more than I do John Campion. So there you go. Pamela Anderson making a barbed wire TV series. You know what? Other than, like, this is such a... We're all looking there, guys. We all are. But I would say this. If you haven't seen the new Naked Gun movie, she's really good in that. Surprisingly good. Like I thought that Liam Neeson was decent in the Naked Gun movie, but she was a surprise, a real treat. And yes, I watched the Barbed Wire movie, but I can't remember it. It wasn't all that good. But hey, if she wants to do that. Oh yeah, it was the Matt Reeves Batman villain. Never really been done in a film before. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so we talked about those. Oh yeah, and the Star Wars movie with Ryan Johnson. We got that first image. Looks like they're on a boat. He's training him or something like that, which is fine. I think this one's going to be good. Sean Levy. I trust Sean Levy. Matt Reeves teases that the next villain in the Batman Part 2 has never really been done on film before. So, when I hear that, I guess we're not going to get one that we've seen, which would be a lot of people were hoping for Mr. Freeze. I was hoping for Mr. Freeze, but who does that put into play then? I would say maybe Hush. But you know who would be cool? Professor Pig. Or something to set up the Court of Owls. But the Court of Owls is such a big, longer story, which would fit in the Pattinson storyline. It would. The Court of Owls would totally fit in. But it's something more grandiose that you would maybe want to include Victor, what the heck is it? Hugo Strange, right? Yeah. Stat cast for Sean Levy's Star Wars movie. Yeah, it is. Hourglass. It's good. It's a good cast. I'm looking forward to it. But it never really been done in a movie before. So that takes out Poison Ivy. I want to see Poison Ivy. I want to see a good Poison Ivy story. Like we're sitting on so many good Batman villains that could like have their own movies. Like a Clayface. I know we're getting Clayface, but like there's so many good stories like that that could be explored, and we just haven't done it yet for some reason, and I don't know why. And yeah, Mr. Freeze has got a really good, really cool story. We'll have to see. All right, guys, I have to bounce. I've got a jet. Take a look at some of the storylines here. Insidious 6, Lin Shaye will star alongside Amelia Eve in next summer's sequel. I thought Insidious was going to come out this year. Well, I guess I was thinking about The Conjuring. The Boy in the Iron Box, Guillermo del Toro producing horror movie from the director of The Empty Man. Oh, yeah. The Empty Man. Okay, now that, see, The Empty Man is a cult movie with horrific, really horrific tones to it. Where it's like, is it just about a cult? Or is there something cosmic going on here? And that's totally up Guillermo del Toro's alley. Looks like they used some promotional materials there from Cabinet of Curiosities. Dream Eater. Theater is dead. Who's that guy? That guy looks familiar. Primate. I hear good things about Primate. Barry Nemiroff said that there's some good stuff about Primate. The Long Walk, we reviewed that already. All righty. Well, guys, I got to bounce. Scooby-Doo, Jason Voorhees and Ghostface coming to Fortnite Mares? I don't know what that is. All right. That being said, guys, thanks for coming and joining me there in the live chat, Hourglass Vikings. And I got to do. Oh yeah, that's right. I got to react to the latest Alien Earth. I've just been so busy this week with materials. We'll do that tomorrow morning. We'll do that tomorrow morning. Alien Earth, right there. And then we got to try to get through Wednesday season 2, but nobody's been talking about Wednesday season 2. Nobody's been saying, hey, you got to check out this great episode of Wednesday. Nobody's been saying that, which is weird. But we'll see how it goes. All right. Enjoy your weekend. You're watching Mirror Domains. Cheers.